Front
Selfie
camera,
mode.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Kushru,
Yeah, yeah.
this
उसको
is
लेके आओ ना यहाँ पे.
orientation is locked. So if I want you landscape mode, then what do I do? Unlock it or? So it's saying, yeah, I can only keep it like this. Chalega?
like this.
Chalega? It's okay. The board gets clearer, na? हाँ ठीक है चलेगा.
Do you think you want to hold it like that?
If I do it like this, it says orientation is locked. Rotate device back.
Hey Khushru, I orientation lock से ज़रा dictation.
She wants it like this for the board.
Em better house.
When I feel so. Some I did the dots or something. Auto rotate. हाँ, yeah, that one.
But this is on now. This is off. Yeah. Orientation lock
So
is off.
on it, right?
Now just do it. Otherwise this is all going all over the world.
Okay, I'll just do it like this. That's how it works. I'll zoom it wherever.
जल्दी कर दे पाना. ये.
Okay, good evening everyone. So congratulations to you all for being here. This broadcast is going live all over India. I have no idea whether it's going all over India or not.
It's going, it's going.
This is the first time I'm doing it. I hope it is going. So welcome to all you people from all over India. We're just talking to you about a business which you are in. And some of you have seen the money, some of you have not seen the money. We are in what we call the last 6 months of a financial year. So the second half of a financial year. And this is normally the period when everybody ramps up. And there are a lot of people in our team and in this room who maybe have not ramped up or scaled up their performance in the first 5-6 months of the fiscal year. So from last September to this February, maybe there have been issues with your business. But right now is, I think, one of the best periods to scale your business up. And we often say this business is all about earning money. And a lot of us never end up making money because we don't put in enough time. Sometimes we don't put in the time because we keep thinking that the money is long term. पता नहीं कब आएगा, फिलहाल तो अपनी नौकरी पे ध्यान दो, फिलहाल तो let me focus on my own business, etc. But here, what we want to discuss is how can you make the money fast? And we all know the business plan. I'm sure we all know the business plan. This whole business plan is based on a. This is an amazing thing. It's not going to work. Our whole business plan works on 10,000 points. Some of you have not figured that out. 10,000 PV points. Now, if you do 10,000 points, you make a lot of money. Typically 70 to 80,000 rupees, as we show in the plan, depending on how you structure your business. The problem starts coming when you've got higher goals. When you've got a higher goal, you want teams which are making this sort of money. And some of you don't understand the value of that 10,000 points as your teams develop. So let's say you start your business, sponsor a few people, and then you get the 70, 80,000. Usually what happens is, there are a few people in your team who are already ambitious. And they want to reach that 21% level. They want to achieve the money that you are making. Along with this 10,000 points, Amway starts giving you foreign travel depending on how consistent you are in the creation of those 10,000 points. For example, this year, a lot of the new people have an option of traveling 3 times. Depending on your age, to Sri Lanka or Bangkok. You could be going to Istanbul, you could be going to Shanghai, right? So 3 trips in 1 year, just because you managed to reach 10,000 and maintain 10,000. Now, a lot of you in this room have the goal to be a platinum, so you've got to reach that 10,000 points this month. Right now we have literally less than half the month left. And can we reach 10,000 points? My personal feeling is it can be done if you have a team. So you can't do it alone, certainly, but if you have a team, you can start moving this. How do we get there? This is what you need to understand. But why and how Amway pays you for this 10,000 is something you also need to understand. So just to give you an idea, if you are at 10,000 points, you're making some commissions, differential income, that part is simple. And I think everybody understands that part, isn't it? Nobody has a doubt about that. But do you know that the same 10,000 points also generates the 6% bonus for your uplines, or if they are below you, then it generates the 6% bonus for you. The same 10,000 points generates a 1% dev bonus. The same 10,000 points generates the rising star. We discussed this also. Rising star incentives of 50,000, 70,000 or 90,000, which all of you can get by August. Right? So that's why this meeting, to understand that we are going to throw 90,000 additional money at you. Are you willing to take it and run? Right? The same stuff is funding all those 3 trips. The Sri Lanka New Platinum Forum, the Shanghai Neutralite trip, right? So trips, and the Istanbul trip, which will be the most exciting one for this year, right? So the same thing is funding the 10,000 points. The calculations are funding all those trips for you. You have something called a Neutralite, Clean Neutralite challenge. You make money over there, or you get fancy gifts worth 5,000-6,000 rupees, funded from this volume and the profits generated by that. You have something called an Artistry Achievers Club. From that 10,000 point volume, there is a budget allocated to paying you those 2,000 rupee checks and those fancy meetings that you have in the Artistry Achievers Club. At I think 13% you have a Young Achievers Workshop. At 15% you have a day with Amway to teach you how to move up. So all of these things are funded by this 10,000 points. So it's very, very important that you have got a group volume of 10,000 points if you want to maximize your income, right? All of us understand that at 10,000 we get 20%, therefore we reach there. I'm not talking about that 10,000 points. I'm talking about when you have a team, let's say a team qualifying at 21%, we call it a Q team. Do you still have 10,000 PV volume, 10,000 point volume outside that team, right? So just to give you an extreme example, if you don't have 10,000 points, if you have 0, I mean, this has to be an extreme case. You just have a downline team at 10,000 points. This team is qualified, but you don't have any money, any of this. How much money will you make? Zero, right? So that's what you got to understand. Don't get confused when that happens and you make no money, right? So you cannot. What Amway says is, if it could be that you develop this whole team, but we don't believe that. We believe that the team leader was so good that he created it, and since you didn't really do much, we will not give you any money. Now, if you create 2 teams, you're still on 0 PV. I don't know how the hell you'll do that, but let's say you achieve the impossible, and you create another team that qualifies. How much money will you make? 45,600. There are some additional side volumes that you will need to have in play, but roughly 45,600 is all you will make. Now, if instead of these teams only you do 10,000, you know you're going to make 70 to 80,000. I'll stick to this one figure, 70,000 rupees. This depends on your structure. I can show you people qualifying at 21%, earning 1.5 lakh a month also. But let's stick to a certain figure for my calculations today. So first goal, you should reach 10,000 points, earn 70,000 rupees a month. By the time that happens, I'm sure you'll find some ambitious people who want to qualify and who want to move on in the business. You don't stop them, you actually assist them to qualify. But ideally in teams of 3. Ideally in teams of 3. And we'll show you the plan that is going to come from September onwards. We don't have all the details now, but all of the incentives will be based on having 3 teams generating bonuses. So 6 months from now, you will need 3 teams. Why the hell not create teams now? 1. Second, the Amway sales and marketing plan definitely gives you more incentives the more teams you have. We call it WIP, and we call it profitability created by WIP. Right? So that is why you need to sponsor 2 to 4 every month, new people. If you don't sponsor this and you reach 10,000, there will come a time when your teams qualify and you won't have any of the side work. And that, I think, will be a big loss to you. I've just shown you that you can have one team qualifying, no side volume, extreme case your money will be 0. You can have 2 teams qualifying, no side volume, extreme case, you will only earn 45,600. However, if you had 10,000 of your own, you would have made at least 70,000. But now let's look at another scenario where you have one team qualifying and you have 10,000 points. So we call it Q1 plus 10K side. How much should you be earning in such a scenario? So again, let's assume this 10,000 gives you 70,000 rupees. This qualifying team will generate 45,600 for you, plus 70,000. So you're going to make what? 70 and 30, so 1,15,600. Right? So it is an incentive for you to help a team to qualify, and you are making a decent amount per month, right? Now suppose you have 2 teams. So you've got your 10,000, but now you have another team, right? So you add another 45,600 to this for the second team because you've got the side volume over there. So 10,000 plus 2 lakhs, you make 1,61,200. Right? Suppose you have that in 3 teams, you will make 2,06,800. Right? And if you're a diamond with 6 legs, you will make 3,43,600. Right? Now, even for a diamond, suppose you don't have the 10,000 on the side volume, suddenly you will, if this income comes down to 2,28,800. So what you've lost is more or less 170 plus 45, that is 1,15,600. Each time you forget that you need that volume on the side. Now you cannot create that side volume overnight. So you will probably be doing this sort of a mistake and then taking 6 months to rectify that mistake. Right? So please make sure that you never ever forget this. Right? As I was saying, in the new compensation plan starting September, you will get all these details in June. Right? So basically, they are going to focus you on this eliminating such mistakes. They will ask you to create sets of 3 teams so that you don't ever get caught. Right? Does this make sense to all of you? You're now clear why you need to sponsor 2 to 4 every month. Now let me take you to a long-term scenario. Let's say you sponsor 4 people every month. We'll take the higher number. So we are looking for people who are committed. We are looking for people who are saying, I want to build this business and earn some money. 4 people a month is 1 person a week. It's not difficult. Even if you talk to 3 people in a week, you will get that one, right? You'll have to set up that, take time and effort to set up those appointments, but you will get one in a week, right? If you do this, at the end of a year, you will have roughly 50 new people, 48, right? Now, we know that for every 20 people that you bring into the team, personally, at least 3 turn out to be real good. right? So they may end up qualifying at the highest bonus level. So when you've got 40, you know you more or less set up things for a diamond business, right? So it's such a small effort done consistently over time. In any 1 month, it will not give you spectacular results, but over a 2 to 5 year period, it will be an unbelievable business. That's the fascination of our business, right? Small things done over a period of time leading to fantastic results. So are you like thinking like this? What if you take this to an extreme step of like 5 years? You have 250 people in your team, right? So that means about 30, 40 people could be qualifying people for you. Now imagine the sort of money. Peter Cox has 21 teams qualifying after 25 years, right? He said that the biggest mistake he did was he stopped putting these 2 to 4 people after he went time. 5 years he did it and then he stopped. That was his biggest mistake. Now imagine if with such a blunder he's making so much money. You and I, if we start becoming smart and if we commit to this process, it's a small process but we have to commit to it. Har mahine humko ye karna hai. What sort of a business you will end up over the next 5 years? 5 years seems long, but actually isn't. If you go back 5 years, check what has changed dramatically in the last 5 years in your life, and you'll find that it has not been dramatic, right? Especially if you factor inflation, it's like under dramatic, right? And you might seem to think that I got a salary increase, but if you factor inflation, that salary increase is worth nothing, not much. So if nothing much has changed in the last 5 years, what is the likelihood that if you continue doing what you're doing, something dramatic will happen in your field? Again, very unlikely, right? But in this business, in 5 years, you could be setting up a business which could earn you 1 crore a month. Even more. There are people who are earning much more, right? So small little task. What will you need to do? At least 15 plans a month. This meeting is normally defined that only the people who are doing 15 plans can attend. Only for today we've made an exception. We've said anybody wanting to do 15 plans can attend. And I hope you understand the power of the 15 plans you'll do every month. It's a small commitment, but it can lead to big results over a period of time, right? What we find is an experience, Mickey and I, is that not many people continue to do this. They do it for 1 month, 2 months, and then take a break. Summer vacation, you know? And then they come back and it's rainy season, so they take another break. And then they come back and it's Diwali, so they take a further break. And yeah, then Christmas is a break anyway. So January somehow they start and February they finish, right? If you do the Jan-Feb trick, then it will take you a long time to find the independence through this business. And no businessman actually does 10 months off and 2 months on. So ये भी समझना जरूरी है कि while we say it's a part-time business, there has to be a consistency about the business. We can't just keep taking breaks and say, I'll come back when I want to, right? Every time life is a little difficult, you take a holiday from Amday. And you don't take a holiday from your traditional job. You don't take a holiday from your traditional business when things are bad, you know? So when in our business, why do you choose to do that? Because you probably don't understand the potential of that small work that you're doing. And I hope you understand that potential and make it happen for yourself. Now let's come to those who want to be a silver producer at the 21% level, because we have a Go Diamond coming up in July. So David Dolan is flying in from America. This Go Diamond is normally only for silvers and above. And you got March, April, May and June really. For this month, we count it as a full month. I count every month as a full month if there's a day left. So my understanding of a month has changed ever since we found that we do a lot of volumes on the last days of the month. So I keep saying you can do anything this month if you have a goal. So March, April, May and June, can you be a silver producer? That's the question, right? And if you are a silver producer, let's say you're sort of not even earning significant money today. In the next 4 months, if you are a silver producer and maintain that for the next 2 months, how much money can you end up making? That's the real question, right? And what's the process of doing this? So let's start with saying that you have to find 8 people. You have to find 8 people who will do a pace setter this month. Is it possible? Now for some of you, you have teams anyway, so you have a team of 8 or more people, that's not a difficult thing. But what if you start from scratch? What if you eliminate everyone you've ever got in your business? Just write them off and say, I want to find 8 people who will do a pace setter. What is a pace setter? If you can. What is a pace setter? It's just sponsoring 2 personally, right? Can you find 2 people in the rest of the month? Is it difficult? 2 people who want to earn 1 lakh a month. That's the key. I'm looking for a person, hey, excuse me, sir, madam, I'm looking for somebody who wants to earn 1 lakh a month extra. Would you be interested in this? Move on if they say no. Do you think you can find one tonight? As late as it is today? Of course you will if you ask that question to lots of people, right? I don't want you to be that stupid. You can be smarter. You have a list, you have a phone book, you have hundreds of names. Use that to find your 2 people, right? It's easy. So now first you've got to find 8 people who will find 2 people. Can you find 8 people? What if I told you that there's a dinner on the 37th floor of a fancy hotel? The dinner will cost 5,000 or whatever plus tax. आपको 8 लोग लेके आना है तो आप आ सकते हो. Do you think you can get 8 people? The dinner is tomorrow. Do you think you can get 8 people? Everyone can. So everyone knows 8 people. You probably know 8 people who want an extra lakh a month. You probably know 8 people who want to have 1 free trip every year. If you say, I'll take you to Istanbul, would you like to do some work? They will say, yes, I'd like to do that business which will give me a free trip to Istanbul. Right? Nikki and I have traveled to, I don't know, 26, 27, some ridiculous number of countries. This is the same couple who could not fill up a passport before it expired. It was such a pain. You know, I take a passport, it has 30, 40, whatever pages, and that stupid thing is stamped on 1 or 2 pages and it expires and I have to buy another passport. All these paper wasted. I couldn't even take notes on that passport. Right? So, dukh hota tha. Right? Then we came into this business and passports got filled up. And this is like Surti style. I used to get 6 stamps on a page. I can tell the Indian immigration chaps, they understand thinking. You know, either udhar jagah khali hai, udhar stamp lagao. So even with 6 stamps on a page, I used to get my passports filled, right? That's this business, if that's what you want. But you have to do it now if you want to be a platinum by August. So there is a problem. If you have to be a silver this month, if you want to be a platinum by August. Open to a few people in this room, not everyone. But for everyone in this room, can you find those 8 people? 8 people who do a pace setter. Each one who joins does the FPO 1, right? Which is 200 points. For each pace setter, you get 200 points. Can you personally do 300 points? 300 people. That person who gets to has to do 300 points. 300 points is 30,000 rupees. Now typically, you don't buy 30,000 rupees worth of soap and shampoo every month. Anybody in this room who does that? Nobody. Right? So you will never get to that 300 points by consumption. Your consumption will be 4,000-5,000 a month. अगर बहुत सारी न्यूट्रलाइट लेते हो, maybe you'll hit 10,000 in a month. So that's about it, right? So how do you get to 30,000? You have to learn. If you sell that combo, how much PV will you get? Maria kidhar hai? Maria, oh there she is. Video, half kilo. Yeah, well, let's say 50 PV roughly. So you need 6 such people to get there, right? You can buy 1 atmosphere drive and more or less get there. Actually not 6, you need 4 because 5. Because 50 BV अपना personal है, right? You can sell one atmosphere drive in the next 18 days, and you more or less get the 300 PV in your circle with the personal consumption. You can sell one queen cookware set and more or less get there the next month. You can sell a wok to people who love fried food, and they can get there. You can sell a health program, a monthly health program using our shall we say defined parameters, and then you can get there. So you can send enough body heat to get in one person, right? If you're brand new, will you be able to just get an order? Probably not. You might have to buy an atmosphere drive and take it to a few people before you get an order, right? But you have enough time to get rid of that one product, and you've got the 300 points in the circle. Now, if you find that that's total of 500 points. One for a person who does one pace setter, and he at least retails 300 points in their personal circle. You have 8 such people. You are on 4,000 points this month, right? We call it Star 50. Now, Amway has a program that if you do Star 15 by 3 months, they will give you plus 1 silver month. They'll give you 50,000 rupees extra. Any smart person in this room who can figure out what to do with an extra 50,000? Yes, only one? Everyone, isn't it? We know extra 50,000 आएगा कुछ तो हम करेंगे उसके साथ. This is just money being thrown in addition to your normal income. So just go and collect it. Simple as that. There's no magic to this whole thing, right? All you have got to do is 3 months of that and 1 month of silver. Now again, I'm leading to a point. You're getting 8 people to do this for 3 months. You're adding your 4 people every month for those 3 months. So again, out of those 12 people, you will get a few more, right? And those people who you signed up will get 4 people. So your team will be quite big over the next 3 months, which might lead you to the 21% volume in month 4. Month 4 is June, which means you qualify for Go Diamond in July middle when David Dornan comes down, right? So in June you'll be a silver, you're qualifying for Go Diamond. So even if you start with just this one task, that this month I'm going to find 8 people who will do 500 points, of which 200 will be from the FPO1 for 2 people, 300, 50 is my consumption, maybe 250 I have to do sales. In sales we've got these high value items. We'll look at selling one such thing in the next 17, 18, whatever days are left. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? So you will be at the Star 15 level. We are just saying you won't grow, you will keep adding people, they will keep adding people, but your volumes will more or less remain there. Those people will take some time to commit. 3 months of that, 4th month you are a silver, 5th month of course you'll be a silver, 6th month you can maintain that silver volume. Now just this much, let us assume an income of only 20,000 when you are a Star 15. This will be more for sure if your structure is good. But if it's only 20,000, 3 months you are earning 60,000 rupees. The 3 silver months you are earning 70,000 per month by 3 months. So 2,10,000. So you are earning 2,70,000 over here, right? Now, if you do Star 15 for 3 months and 1 silver month, you'll get 50,000. For the 2nd silver month, you'll get an extra 20,000. For the 3rd silver month, you'll get one more lot of 20,000. So that is a total of 90,000. That's also additional money coming through, right? So now suddenly you've got 3,60,000 over the next 6 months, which translates to 60,000 rupees a month, salary starting now, right? How many of you would be able to go to your boss wherever you are working and say, "Mera pagar badha lo 60,000 se." IT engineer. Can you do that? Impossible, right? I know. If I was your boss and you come to me with such a ridiculous statement, I would say, "You find a new job, I'll find a new guy, no problems," right? So that's your potential over the next 6 months. 60,000 a month, extra, part-time, in addition to your normal job, business, whatever you're doing, right? And for that, you have to start with 8 people. You've got 17, whatever, 16.
12 days.
12 days. You've got the whole month left, right? Whole month of March. To find 8 people. Remember, you said you can find 8 people to have a dinner with me tomorrow. Now you suddenly worried about the other 11 days?
No, but don't.
Yeah. डिनर के लिए 8 लोग लेके आओगे, 60,000 के लिए 8 लोग लेके आओ. That's your problem. How you get them is your problem. We'll pay you the money. Does that make sense? Now there are in this room people who want to go platinum. Maybe you don't have the structure, maybe you don't have the volume right now, right? Can you start looking at finding 2 teams who want to do this? What if you sponsor 2 people and tell them that, oh, you have that dinner, find 8 people, etc., and they do that. Now, if 2 teams do 4,000 points, you are sitting on 8,000 points. I'm sure you can manage the other 2,000 from your current business, right? So again, if you want to go silver this month, then you can't just do 8 people. You need teams which will do those 8. Maybe you can do 8 people, get 4,000, 2 teams which will do 8 each, and that's 4,000, and you're at 12,000 this month, right? So suddenly, if you use that as a module, 8 people doing a pace setter, doing 300 personal PV, you need committed people, of course. That module can scale up to any level you want to, starting this month. Up until now, we kept saying, it takes time, it takes time. Now we are saying, we can do everything we want this month, provided you find enough modules in place, put enough modules in place. Does that make sense to you all? Yes. Right? So, there's a lot of things we need to discuss, but I just wanted you to understand that if you want to do it in the 11 days or 12 days that Mickey claims that are left in the month, in my opinion, I have the whole month left, right? But even if you restrict your thinking, can you do it? Right? Do you want to do it? I think is more important than can you do it. Right? So for those of you who want to do it, this is a doable thing. When I look around the room, I can see a lot of people who actually say money is important and I'm happy to earn money. Right? So why not? Right? I met Surinder yesterday. Kali mile hum log, right? He's a businessman. He runs multiple businesses. And when I showed him the plan, I asked him, I said, does this make sense to you? He says, of course, money makes sense to me. Extra money makes sense, right? Now, he happens to be a Marwadi. You can think like a Marwadi if you want to. You can think like a Surti if you want to. You can think whatever the hell you want, provided you like money, right? The other aspect is, are you willing to work for it? Kuch to kaam karna padega, right? As I made it sound easy that you need to get 8 people for a dinner on the 37th floor. It's not as easy as that, of course. I know it, you know it. But if you talk to enough people, you will find it, right? You will find those 8 who want to do this now, right? So, is it a big task? Depends on how you look at the rewards, right? So, if the rewards are worth it, the task will be done. If you think the rewards are not worth it, the task will not be done. So, to all those of you who are listening out in YouTube land, I hope you've sort of managed to get the audio through. I'm not really sure because this is the first time I'm doing it. If you haven't got the audio, I'm sure YouTube will have a recording available for future release. If the whole thing is in a mess, I'll make another recording and send it back to you all over India. To those of you who are live in this room, I hope you've sort of understood in your hands is a fast way of creating additional income. There are many rewards on offer. We've discussed a few of those in the previous board, but the rewards are way more than you and I can look at when we first look at this business. Even for Mickey and I, we are still discovering rewards, which we sort of didn't put in our calculations. They are way beyond the money that we earn from this business, right? The associations with people, people whom we have never otherwise got a chance to associate with, the teaching that we get from this business. So it's all fantastic, it's all very good, but I want you to look at March 31st as the end of the world in terms of this challenge. If you can focus for the next few days just on achieving this one little thing, whatever goal you take, whether it is finding those 8 people, whether it is helping them to get where they want to be, whether it is achieving your own star 15 level, whatever your goal, write it down, make it happen, and we'll have a fantastic next 6-month period. And the year ahead with the new plans coming into place is going to be really beneficial to all of us. There's more money thrown in, there's more money thrown into the business, there's more money thrown into your pockets. All we have to do is go out and grab it. Good night, all the best, and if you're real dreamers, let's walk on the beaches of the world together. Thank you.
Can you switch it off?